Hey everybody, welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson. I need you to pay attention right now and stop everything that you're doing because we have something very special, a big announcement. I'm here with my good friend, Miss Kim Green, and she has something she wants to let everybody know about, and it's pretty near and dear to my heart. And so, Kim,
First of all, thank you for having me.
Yes,
thank you for having me. I'm Kim Green, and I am a business manager for a youth football team. Had the privilege of knowing Corey and having his awesome son on our team. And these children on our team are comprised of kids that are, 12, 13 years old. Some of them are going to high school next year. And they have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to Florida and play in the Tackle Football National Championship.
They've done something special this season.
Yes, they have.
They are a really good team. And what's their record right now?
They are 10-0, folks. 10-0.
Yeah, baby, 10-0. That means something.
It does. These kids started training in June. They did their tough 20s for 20 days in a row.
I've watched them work really hard. Everyday practice. Now, understand this. In Arizona, June is super.
It is 110 degrees. And when they put their pads on, I think that week, it was 113.
So these boys have been through hell and back.
Yes, they have.
And so you are doing a
fundraiser.
A fundraiser.
Yes, I am.
So tell them what you need them to do.
I need you to go online to sendtheteam.com and donate some money to the team.
Okay, because there's a cost to go to Florida.
There is a huge cost.
We're sending 30 kids.
30 kids.
And all the chaperones and stuff like that.
Coaches. They're in Florida for a week. They have a chance to play at least 3 games.
Yeah.
And in between, they're going to do their studies because, of course, all
these
kids are good athletes too. These kids are going somewhere in life.
Yeah, they really are. And they're also going to Universal
Studios.
You got to make it fun, right?
Heck yeah! They have a fun night where they have roll out a red carpet. They give awards out, and the kids get to spend time at Universal Studios in Florida.
So it's going to be a really, honestly, and now I'm very partial to this because my son plays on the team, and it's been a really neat. We have 3 high school coaches.
Yeah.
High school level coaches that are on our team.
They are,
and giving instruction to these boys, and to watch their growth has been amazing.
It's huge. It is huge.
So where you need to go, again, is sendtheteam.com, and any donation that they can make, we would greatly appreciate it. Our goal is to raise $10,000. Now, just so you know, Corey Peterson, homie Peterson, I've already donated over $10,000. I'm going to pay for everybody's flights.
Yes. To get us there.
And so, but we still need, hotels, food.
Hotel.
Oh yeah, these boys eat a lot.
It's 7. We have to stay the full 7 days.
Yeah, we can't even leave early.
Because they do games every other day. We'll do studying. Yeah, so we need food.
Yeah.
So.
And these boys eat a lot. If you guys know, have 12-year-olds, 11, 12-year-olds, they're like human garbage disposal.
Oh my gosh. I have boys at my house all the time, and Costco runs all the time, which we will be doing that when we're in Florida.
Yeah,
getting some snacks.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So what's the website one more time?
Sendtheteam.com. Anything you can do helps, folks. We would greatly appreciate it. Help these kids. Some of these kids on the team, single moms, they just would never get this opportunity again, and I'm just asking you. Sendtheteam.com. And Corey, I greatly appreciate you having me on your show today. Thank you so much.
Hey, there you guys have it. Sendtheteam.com. Go there right now. Pause the podcast, whatever you're doing. Go there and show me the love. Listen, we don't ever ask for anything on this podcast, but this one time, I'm going to make a special exception, and I would love for you to go to sendtheteam.com on our GoFundMe account, and please give a generous donation. Thanks. All right, now let's get on to the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson. I have a good guest for you today. And before we get to that, I've got to give this introduction, man. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And so I'm almost a geek. If you were to look up, you'll see that I do resonate with the dark side. Wait, there he is over there. That would be... Actually, I'm not even sure what character that is. That's the new stuff. It's not Darth Vader. But Now, for you that are watching on YouTube, you're gonna watch this and see this is pretty cool. This is Darth Vader's lightsaber. I've got in my hand Darth Vader's lightsaber. Now, you may be able to see it if you're listening to it on iTunes on my podcast, but you will absolutely be able to hear this. Watch this. Oh, dude, that is sexy. Watch this. Hold on. Oh, make the move. Yeah, then. Oh. That, my friends, is money. Okay? So, we're going to label this episode The Power. I want to say The Power of the Force, but that would be not like, that doesn't even sound cool. We're going to call it The Power of the Cash Flow. Or something like that. Okay, with that said, let me bring on my guest. He's sitting here patiently. He's like, Corey, come on. Will you introduce me finally? I want to introduce you to Kris Ontiveros, Cashflow Kris. He actually came to my boardroom but it's not been his first time dipping into the cash flow. Okay, he's been a student of it, and he's got an amazing story of kind of where he started. So let me introduce Cashflow Kris Ontiveros. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, Corey? Thanks for having me, man. It's always a blast having you on the show. So on our show. So hopefully we have just as much fun this time.
Yeah. In fact, so Kris and BP are partners. Brayand Ponciano, we just had him on last week, I believe, and so Kris is like, dude, what am I chopped liver? When are you gonna have me on? And I was like, dude, you know what? You got a powerful story too. Like, what? Let's get you both on. I mean, like, why not? And Absolutely. So a lot of fun, and you guys are really doing a lot of cool things right now. And I want to give you the time of my show because I feel like in this day and age, I mean, I always root for the underdog, right? I always root for the, it's ones that want to make it really bad that just, it seems like they have to do a little extra work. And that success is so much sweeter. It tastes so much better. So tell me about your story, man.
For sure. The grind is always going to be there. BP and I always say that we're two ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. And that's what we like to run on. We definitely have had our successes, but it's been over a long period of time. I got licensed way back in 2004. So I've been in real estate first as a realtor and then as an investor, for quite some time now.
So what's the advice for the realtors listening to the show?
I was at a wholesaling class taught by Than Merrill way back when, before they had the
Fortune Builders.
Yeah, it was Fortune Builders before it was Fortune Builders.
Yeah.
And he said one thing that caught my mind. It was wholesalers are basically overpaid realtors. And that is very, very true. I would say if you're a realtor, definitely it's a great way to make a living, but definitely you get into the investing game as soon as you can, because it's amazing how much easier sales becomes when you are in the game. When you first get started, you're just begging for a listing, a buyer, anything, someone. You have commission breath, as they call it. You're just
commission breath.
You're desperate to make a sale. But when you're buying, as a realtor nowadays, the only work that I do is selling my own properties. So things just naturally flow at that point.
And then you start getting more listings and buyer calls, and you have your own little sub team that just answers all your stuff from your own listings and your own properties. The biggest thing I always, because here's one of my funniest things. When people say, hey, Corey, what do you do? If I say real estate, right, everybody automatically thinks we're what?
Realtors every time.
Realtors, right? Yeah, So you're a realtor. How's the market? You all right? and so I just actually let my license go last year.
Yeah.
I've been licensed for maybe 4 years, 5 years. I got it because I was wholesaling, right?
Right.
And I wanted to make an extra piece of the pie because I was wholesaling to other investors, and I wanted to list their fix and flips.
Yes.
And then eventually I ended up doing, when I really figured out how to raise private money, I started doing my own. And so, hey, I love realtors, right? But I always say the challenge is to get most people get stuck there, and you want to be moving away from that split. Like you're here, but you want to be moving away from. It's like the friend zone, right? You don't ever want to get caught in the friend zone, right? If you're dating somebody, you want to move away from the friend zone as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
You want to be in a dating zone somewhere.
For sure. You know, being a realtor is definitely a great way to make a living, but think about it. You're only getting 3% of the deal, if that. So, you know, you want to make much bigger.
The scraps, table scraps, and then you're at the beck and call.
You know, that is so true, principal. Corey. The year that I had my very best year as a realtor, it was the first year I actually broke 100,000. That was the most miserable year of my life. I got into real estate because I wanted to be, right?
Yes.
I got into real estate because I wanted to be my own boss, and I realized that I was lots of people were my boss. I had 10, 12, 15 bosses, everybody telling me what to do because, you know, I was at their beck and call, like you said.
Chris was somebody's
straight up. I was a high price hoe, though.
I've been there too, dude. I've been there, and it's like once you realize that, you're like, and some people love it, right? Now I love those people that love that, but for me, I wasn't born that way, man. I always wanted something more. So you transition from that to start becoming, in the real estate world, as a realtor, you call it a principal.
Oh, absolutely, man. So I jumped in once the crash happened. So I was in an 04.
How convenient, right? Like perfect.
Well, really, I had no choice. So I was in 04, 05, 06. It was crazy. High commissions. 07 happens. Oh, crap. 08 happens. What am I going to do? I had some REO accounts, made small little checks there. But after a while, you're really spinning your wheels, making little tiny checks.
Yep.
So I had an investor who wanted to come in and buy a bunch of real estate. So he came in, I sold him a couple fourplexes, but really I found out, I'm like, what are you looking for? What kind of returns do you want? And he's like, you know what? If I can make 12%, I'm happy. So when I saw that first 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $26,000, I did the math. I offered him this deal. I said, fund my properties 100%. So if they need repair, you know, fund the purchase plus the repair, and I'll pay you 15% interest, knowing that it was more than he wanted, right?
Yes.
So that first deal, it was 26.5, and it didn't need any work. It was move-in ready because it was a short sale. And so my payment was like $330. I rented it.
Nasty, dude.
Yeah, I rented it for $750 right away.
All day.
And I went from there. You know, I did 6, 7, 8 of those lower end ones. I wish I would have done the 90, 100,000 because those turned into $300,000 properties. But that's how I got.
I only have 2 of those left, right? I have 2 in Casa Grande that I bought for a song. I
tell you what, I mean, it's funny how many people that I couldn't
still own them.
To. Well, yeah, cash flow is cash flow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2010, 2011, I was screaming from the top of the mountains, buy real estate, and nobody listened. I mean, they're like, oh, it's going to keep going down. How much further can a $30,000 house go? You know, so you know as well as I do, they're all 150 and up now.
We only wish we could be more prepared for what we know now.
Yeah, right? But we're ready for the next one, though, right?
It's coming. I think it's coming, man. I keep on getting reports from people that are saying, like, they show days on market, and like they're starting to expand a little bit. Well, that's a good telltale sign. Now our market's a little bit insulated from that, but still, we even have a little bit more days on market here in Phoenix.
Corey, when you look at our market stats, all of them look good, but all of our numbers are trending in the wrong direction. Yeah. List price to sale price is going down. Days on markets are going up. List prices are dropping. Sale prices are dropping. We've noticed in the last 15 to 30 days a serious softening in the Phoenix market. I don't think it's going to be good next year, to be honest with you. That's why we're getting out of our flips.
Right. Now, here's what's going to be good if you're paying attention, because like there's going to be some blood in the streets. There's going to be some opportunity coming.
Yes,
I can't
agree.
wait. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I'm just trying to get flush with cash.
Yes,
Right?
I fully agree. And I think, we do a lot of private lending. A lot of investors invest with us. I think it's going to be a lot easier to raise money once the stock market starts tanking as well.
Oh yeah, because everybody's gonna want to cash out. Like so, they already are. I've been having these conversations. Like, hey, listen, it's probably a really good time right now, like right now, to put that sell order in with all your stocks and bonds, so you can come in and just be flush with some cash, and wait, sit on it for 6 months, 8 months. Let's get through this midterm election because that's a volatile thing,
Very.
right? And lots of emotions and height, and then after that, I mean, as interest rates keep ticking up, and then we're going to get a couple more rate hikes next year, I think too. That when people sneeze, they screw it up, right? Like
Yeah.
their deal's wrong, right? Like because there's a lot of stupid buyers out there, and
True.
right now they're buying properties way over that are super expensive, and they just don't seem to make financial sense. And if there's a little hiccup in their operations, they can't. It's a house of cards, and it'll start tumbling.
Yes, I'm analyzing deals for friends and associates all the time, and I'm like, look at this. When you break it down, you're going to have to do everything perfect to make $5,000 or $10,000. So a little drop in the market, and you're writing a check, and I'm not down with that.
Don't you? Are you glad that you're out of those days? As you don't. I'm sure you do some flips here on the side and stuff, but like where you guys are heading towards is more towards that cash flow life, and that seems to be.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to worry about that as much, right? Isn't that
For sure. So about a year ago, hey, there's our girl Shelly.
Yep. Yep. And now she's gone. She
About a year ago, my partner Brian and we decided to really get on the apartment game, and it was because of you, Corey. We saw what you were doing. I believe, if I recall correctly, you and I were at the same Dave Lindahl class several years ago.
Oh gosh!
It was like a 3-day. It was from Azria, and I think that's when you took the apartment route, and I went the route of fix and flip.
So if it was 3 years ago, I was probably there as a guest. Was I speaking?
No, I mean it could have been 5-6 years ago easily.
Okay, yeah, because it was probably 2011 when I bought my first apartment complex. But there was an event here locally.
Yeah,
that I went to.
While I didn't have the guts to go into the apartment game, I wish I would have done it sooner.
Well, I mean, but like I was telling BP, but you are now.
Yeah.
Like, and dude, I mean, think about this. Think what you guys have done this year because you put your minds to it, right? Pretty amazing stuff. So let's talk about it first, but then let's talk about the feeling of it, and then we're gonna talk about the future.
For sure. Let's get into it. So, man, your class, your seminar that you put on in March was the launching pad for us.
Yeah.
We already were looking, and we had a 26 unit under contract. But since then, we've bought that 26. We have a 37 unit in Southern Arizona under contract. We're writing an offer today on a 28 unit in Arkansas. And dude, the deals just are flowing and flowing and flowing. And we don't do any marketing. This is just our network sending us great off-market deals.
Yeah. That's huge, dude.
It's so exciting, So now we know that we're just straight up fundraisers at this point. We know how to find
raising money, dude. Smiling and raising money, right?
Yeah.
And let's talk about raising money. So, because that's you did it your first deal, by the way, right? That deal you just talked about. Like you just found somebody that wanted some money. You found out what rate they had to have, and then you offered them a little bit more.
Right.
Back when real estate was scary.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. We we wanted to make it lucrative for the investor because they're taking a chance on us, especially this was our first loan. And then we also knew that it was going to be temporary, that we were going to be paying the higher interest rates while we transitioned the property, got it leased up, and then we're going to be able to refinance and drop that payment significantly.
And were you able to you were able to refi and give that investor back his money? Now you have it in long-term debt, or does he still own the note?
Not yet. No, we're still in the middle of it. We have rehabbed about over a third of the units, Everybody
Oh,
else.
okay. I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about your very first one way back when, but like you're talking about the deal that you just did.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, yeah. We've done lots and lots of deals with private lenders and got them their money back for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of it, right? So once
Yeah,
you find a way to put long-term financing on your project to keep the project, and they exit out, and then they're ready to fund your next deal,
absolutely. Yeah.
right? Now, but the challenge is it's hard to do it with single family. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, you know what? And the funny thing is, we're learning it's even harder to do it with smaller multifamily. We're looking at a 500,000 to 1 million, and people are like, this is a little too small for me. Like,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
I told you guys. Listen, when you get ready to play the 100-unit game,
Yeah,
right? Now it's a bigger lift as far as capital raising.
yeah.
So all you got to do is go out there and do what I say, which is, I mean, smile, smile and dial, right? Shake hands, kiss a lot of babies, and
Hmm.
start getting to know capital. Because raising money, what's your experience of raising money? Is it like I want to say what I want to say, but I want you to say it first.
Well, for me, it's been pretty simple, but I think it's because I've been going after the smaller money, 20 to 50,000, do a second for a flip here and there.
Why do people give you that money though? Because they have a what relation with you?
Oh, because they have a great professional relationship with me. It's all about your network. I mean, absolutely. Uh, I haven't borrowed from anybody who's a stranger. They've all gotten to know me. Absolutely.
Boom, it's personal.
Yes, for
People
sure.
give you money not because I mean they like your business plan, right? You got to have a good business plan, but
Yes,
they're going to really give you the money because they like Kris,
for sure.
right?
Absolutely. That's
And they
key.
understand your deal.
Yes. And they see that I have a track record, making sure that
Boom.
someone's done it before and has had success is very important.
Call this guy, right? Here's my reference. Call him. Ask him how long I've been taking his money, right?
Right. Yep.
And be making it grow. Because it's called cash flow for a reason.
It is. You
It
got to get that
flows.
residual.
It flows. Hey, cash flows from people who can't handle it, right? To people, me and you, people
Hmm.
that can make it grow.
For sure.
Because money's looking for a home.
Yeah.
It's looking for deal makers like us,
Yeah.
and you're
And that's
starting
why
to see that more and more.
real estate is so amazing. There are so many different ways to make money in this business. We found our little niche, but there's so many others as well that you could get into.
So that's funny. So you went to the boardroom. That helped you get a little bit inspired. Maybe get you over a mental hump, right? Because we all have mental roadblocks sometimes, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
But you guys put your mind to it, and now you're starting to do big things,
Yes.
right? More deals are showing up. Now you're like, oh, now I got to start raising more money,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And really that's going to be your job from here on out. Which
That's
raising money is actually kind of fun if
yeah.
you do it
Well,
right.
wining, dining, schmoozing, and really, sitting around having drinks with people and getting to know people better.
It really is. It's not that much complicated. Just like I want to get to know you. You get to know me. Here's my plan. Here's what I'm doing, and letting people know that you already have investors. Because are you hard closing these people?
No, you can't. Not in real estate.
No, that's more
That's
important,
my
right?
opinion. So,
No, I'm totally agree.
yeah, I mean, I learned sales as a realtor, and so the guy who taught me real estate sales, I think he did a great job. But one thing I learned, you're not gonna when it's a house, when you're talking about someone buying a house, you can't talk someone into that. They're gonna feel sick about it. If it's not the house for them, if it's not the right deal for them, they're not gonna sleep that night, and the next day they're gonna be calling you first thing and canceling. So, no, you got to let the product and kind of sell itself. They need to be completely sold on it themselves. They got to feel good about it and know that things are going to go right.
Yeah, I totally agree. Right, and that is it comes back down to that personal relationship. I mean, it's so vital that you get to know your People. Now, here's what's cool about it too is like a lot of them. Like, how many people have given you referrals from like that are already with your in your network?
Yeah, almost all of our money's from referrals or people we already know.
I mean, isn't that sick, right? Like when you
Yeah,
really start thinking about that game. So then it doesn't take a whole lot of new investors to get an army, right? So
exactly.
now the one thing with when you start doing bigger deals, which you guys are starting to go into bigger deals,
Yes.
um, the need for more capital is present, right? You're like, oh, now we don't just need $500,000, we need $1.5 million.
Yeah, and bigger money. Those 50,000s don't really help us too much at this point.
Can I give you a tip?
Yes.
I thought it was just gonna be a podcast, but let me just give you some. So ask for it. So one of the things. So this is it may be an education piece too, right? So this is what I've learned. When I was working at Edward Jones, I would call people up, and so one of the first things we would do, like we would go door knocking every day, right? You had to get 25 quality leads. And then you get them in their database. There's a whole process. You send them a thank you card, and you get to know them. You warm them up, and then eventually, to have like 2 weeks later, you're calling on the phone with a something to sell, right? And we'd always sell bonds, right? So those bonds are usually very safe, pretty secure. It's hard to go wrong on them, right? And so I'm sitting there, and I've got my manager on the phone or in my office with me, and he's watching me make calls. And so I was like, hey, John, this is Corey. I've got this wonderful Coca-Cola bond, and, it pays 3.5%. And if you have $25,000 extra, I think you should buy some today. And so I did that a couple of times, and my guy's like, all right, don't lift up the phone. And this is when he was the master, right? And I was just a young Padawan. So I had to sit down and listen. He goes, Corey, what are you doing? He goes, you're screwing this up right now. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm just trying to get, some sales. He's like, dude, listen, if you only ask for 25, you'll only get 25. He goes, you need to ask for 100. You need to ask for 100 because you'll probably get hundreds. And you'll always still get the 25. If the guy says, well, I don't know, well, how much can you do? How close to 100 can you get? Oh, I can get to 75. All right, great, right? And so, I used to tell people, I used to, I just started doing this, right? This is funny, right? Even in when I've been raising money, I set initially in my paperwork, my minimum was 50,000. My last two PPMs, my last two deals, I was like, dude, because I would never tell people 50. They'd have to read my PPM. I've always said 100, right? But in my paperwork, it would say $50,000 the minimum investment. And so sometimes I would get 50. So I got one deal that I did with Jack Bosch, right? Mm-hmm. And all our investor stacks are 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. And it's like double the amount of investors we had, like 27 investors. I mean, that's so many 50s, right? Yeah. And so then I look at my new deck, right? The new deal that I just did, it's 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. And the only thing I did different was say $100,000 is their absolute minimum, and it said it on the paper when I sent them out my PPM, right?
So how many extra no's do you think you got because of that?
Well, no. So a no's not a no, because even if it was a no, I would say, well, that's the follow-up to that is how close to 100 can you get?
Nice. I like it.
So then I sweep up everything. I get it all.
Yes, I like it.
Right?
That's what I'll start doing.
You still get the 25, you still get the 50, but you are now challenging people. So remember watching that video where the guy's like, I'll take 50,000 shares, right? Or whatever. Or wait, what was it? I'm thinking of, what's the movie? Boiler Room. He's like, well, we'll let you in on this small deal for $100,000. He's like, $100,000. Oh my God. And he's like, you got to let them go. And they get shocked for a minute. They're like, oh my God. And they're like, then he's like, is that the best you can do? He's like, yeah, he goes, we'll start on this small deal so I can swing for the fences on the next one, or, and do some serious trading.
I love it. Yeah, that's auto suggestion, right? Getting a number into their head, and then that's kind of where they go with it.
It's getting the number in your head first, though.
Nice.
Right?
Yes.
So that's what you got to start telling yourself is just, be bold about it, be brazen about it, and say when people say, well, how much is your minimum investment? Look them in the eyes and say, it's $100,000. Most people come in at $100,000. And then if they go, oh, okay, great. Or if they're like, oh, I don't know. Well, listen, how close to 100 could you come? And then it'll play the game.
Down in my head. This is written down in my head. I tell you what, I'm going to be using those exact words.
Because a lot of times, like they may have 50, they probably have 50, right? Like even if they were thinking 25, now they're at 50, right? So they maybe were thinking 25 because people are always thinking a lot lower than we are.
Right.
That's the fact, right? And so you've got to go, screw that. Let me just mind blast them real quick, right? Let me give them some of the freaking Jedi mind trick shit and just like, no, I'm the master.
This is true.
God, I love this thing. I'm having too much fun with that. It's I mean, like by the time this goes out, it'll be past Halloween, but like it's in tomorrow, and like I'm actually doing the Purge theme, so no Darth Vader this time, but maybe next year I'll do a Star Wars theme for my haunted house. So anyway, so there's I just gave you some education on how to level up your private money game, right? Because hey, you've already been successful doing it, right?
Yep.
But how do you get bigger chunks? You just ask for it.
Just ask for it. Put it out to the universe. I like it.
Just ask for it, and you tell yourself that is worth it. Because here's the thing that I know, right? Those $25,000 investors can sometimes be a what?
Pain in my ass.
A pia, dude. A pia. Pain in the
ass.
Oh,
right. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that we've definitely learned. You never want to take someone's, unless they have plenty of money, you don't want to take their last dollar because they're going to be the problem. They're going to be the one who's like, oh, hey, man, I really need that money back.
Yeah, if it's like $20, can I have the 25 back? I just gave it to you yesterday, but can I have it back today? Because like my, something like my life event happened this week, like that it happens every other week, but today it happened right now. Yeah. And so you're like, oh my God, dude. You're just like, dude. And then you're like, because you're like, it's just not liquid.
Yeah. It's
so now you're trying to find like, hold on, I'm going to call Peter to see if I can pay Paul.
Yeah.
Right? Paul, you want to give me some money and we'll do the deal with you and I'll pay off this person and refund. And like, it's a pain in the butt.
Right.
And so I find when you start dealing with people in 100Ks, you'll get a little bit better investor, and you'll still. And here's the other thing: is this sounds really weird, but we're on a podcast, so we're teaching, so that's good. You want to trade up your money.
What do you mean by that?
So, thank you for asking the question. So, what I mean by that is you. So, everybody's climbing a ladder, right? And everybody's looking at something that doesn't smell so good. And, but you want to climb it as fast as you can because you want to be with the dons. You want to be, so you might start with somebody who knows that's has 25,000. He's going to know $25,000 people, but he'll also know a couple $100,000 people.
Got it.
Right? You want to make sure you get him to invite the $100,000 people to dinner. Right?
Yeah.
And so then, boom, you get these $100,000 people. So now, $100,000 people know $500,000 types of people. They don't. Most of their friends are 100,000, but they have a couple that are the bigwigs, right?
Right.
And so you get them to invite those guys to dinner, and you pay, right? And so you trade up your money to eventually you get to say, yeah, that's too small.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'd say the greatest thing about that is, what do they call it? Edification, where someone says, hey, here's Kris, I've worked with him before. He's great. You're going to want to lend money, like when we're in sales, if I have a client and I tell them, hey, here's my lender, this is the best lender. You're going to want to work with him. They're not going to call anybody else. They're going to work with that lender. So
always. So the best way to get referrals, one way is to ask for them, but if they're local, right, Just say, hey, John, listen, I really appreciate what you've been doing. You've been a great lender for me. Here's what I want to, let's go to dinner, right? I want you to bring you, your wife, right? And bring 2 other couples that you think would be, that are just like you, right? Or that have some money.
Right.
Right? Would you do that for me as a favor? And let's go to a nice dinner. And so then you go there, and dude, all you got to do is shut up and pay for the check.
That's easy.
That's it, right? And then at the end, you go to your buddy, how much money did we raise? Because he'll do all the talking for you. He's like, no, this is my investor. This is the guy. That guy I was talking about, this is the guy, right? Yeah. He's giving me a good return on my money. It's been a lot of fun. And then you just kind of do what you do. You're Cashflow Kris. I'm all about the deals, baby. I'm a deal maker. And we're all having fun. And then you're you're paying for the bill. No, just one check. I got it, right? Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And you come there like a freaking baller, dude, right? Yeah. And that's people like, oh, shoot. And you're setting up the stage for you are a big deal, right? And people respond to that. They will just oh, and really, then you follow up with those people and say, hey, listen, I'd love for you to, this is my favorite word, I'd like for you to dip your foot in the pool with me. I'm not asking for a big investment. I just need $100,000.
Exactly. I don't need a million.
I just did it again. I don't need a big investment. I just need $100,000. I just want you to dip your foot in the pool with me and let me show you how my system works.
Yes.
Because I know if I start giving you checks, cash flow, that's going to mean something, right? You're going to really like the way we do business.
Right. I love it, man. I'm going to use all of these for sure, 100%.
All right, let's go back to you, dude. So the education from Darth Cashflow is over. Let's talk about your story. This is either going to be a great episode, verbally, through the audio, or it's going to really suck. But I'm hoping this mic that I have picks that up really sweet.
I could hear it really well, so I bet it sounds good.
Okay, good. So you've transitioned from realtor to kind of doing some fix and flips and buying some rental single families to now transitioning apartments, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about the apartments and what you feel like that's the change. You said this year has been a big change for you, right?
Yeah.
What is that change?
Well, it was right around summertime 2018 here that the market just got crazy dry. Wholesalers are very, very greedy right now. There's a lot of really stupid money, real dumb money in the market. So people are coming in, they're paying way too much. And so I just saw things drying up. So that's when we really, pressed hard on the apartments. Now, it's been a transition because we're used to having big checks coming in every few weeks. And the apartment game is much, much slower. So that's been something that we've had to work with. And, we've had a few stop gaps, working with some notes and still doing a couple flips here and there.
You should always keep a foot in the door till you get enough cash flow to say, we have a big, hell no button, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but the goal is cash flow. I mean, that's what I want. These are my kids back there. I want to show them the world. And, man, kids are so funny. My boys are 11 and 8. And since they were little kids, I'm just, oh, boys, I'm going to show you the world. This is going to be awesome. We're going to go do this, do that. And they call me out. They're like, Dad, when are we going to go see the world?
Hey, but you went to Hawaii last summer.
We did. So we went to Hawaii and Costa Rica this year. And that's what I want. That's what's important to me. Just traveling, being with my kids.
You picked up that scuba bug, didn't you?
Yeah, I love scuba, man. It is so fun. Absolutely. So that's what I want to do. And I don't have to, be, as long as I'm financially free, as long as the bills are being paid and there's checks coming in every single month, I'm going to be happy,
Dude, now, so think about this, right? What you guys have done this year. Now, just look 5 years into the future, okay? Let's say all you did was exactly what you did this year, and you did it, repeated it 5 years in a row, right? That life looks completely different, does it not?
I can't wait. Yeah, I've had some nice vacations, but I see some of your partners, and they're going to Hawaii multiple times a year, and that's what it's about. I love it. Yeah, being able to do whatever you want.
I'm
So if
taking
we
all my
can find
neighbors
that,
next week, bro.
excuse me,
I'm taking my neighbors next week.
to
Right after,
Hawaii.
yeah. So I've got
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got a I rented a house right on the beach, and taking four of my neighbors, and all of them, right,
Beautiful.
to
Yeah,
Hawaii.
you're living life, man, and I love it.
I
That's what
get
I
to
want
fund
to
it,
do.
and I get to fund it. So that's my deal. Supplier of fun, right? I want to be the supplier of fun. I want to take. The reason I do the business some more is, I mean, I love cash flow too, right? So like, and I take that cash flow, and I get to do fun things like stuff like that. That because I don't. I mean, I don't need to make any more money. I mean, I
Right.
got enough money to live on. I got enough money to do whatever I want.
Hmm.
And so it's come to this point, like, what drives you? Well, it's got to be something other than money,
Yeah.
right? So, and you guys are heading towards that rapidly. Like, it could probably be there next year, but like, if you keep raising money the way you're doing, right, and then you guys keep picking up, you will start doing bigger deals where you'll start doing 100-unit deals at a time, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And so that all of a sudden, once you do your first 100-unit deal, well, like, that starts to really change the game, right?
For sure.
And think about this, because even for me, for 5 years, so I bought my first property 2011. I was still having to wholesale and fix and flip, right? And even I bought my next property 2012, and then I bought one in 2013 and 14, right? But my first deal didn't go all the way through start to finish until 2000 and what last year, 17. That's when I made 4.7 million bucks,
Yeah, buddy.
right? And so, like, now the question is, was it worth it? Well, hell yeah, it was worth it, man.
You got to
And
do
so,
something these last 7 years, right? Might as
yeah,
well build an empire.
yeah. And so, and I've got lots of them behind it now, and everybody's like, oh, you're an overnight success. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
right? But like, it's the same concept of where you guys are at now. Mentally, you've already shifted, right? Let's talk about that mental game.
Yes, for sure. Going to your seminar really helped a lot because I think it helps when you see other people actually doing it. You know that it's possible. And sometimes you see some guys and you're like, shit, if that guy can do it, I know I can do it.
He's
So
talking
yeah,
about me.
that mental shift.
But right, it's the
Yeah.
mental shift, right?
Yeah,
That
for sure.
changes everything. Like, so that moment, you guys crystallized what you like. That's what we want. We want that, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And BP had seen it enough. He was like, I remember when Corey was telling me about where he was going. I wasn't there yet.
Right.
I was telling him though. I was like, dude, this is going to be my thing. And I was showing him, like, here's the deal I'm getting ready to buy, right? It was funny. I remember him coming to my office because BP was doing my bandit signs back in the day.
Oh yeah. And I tell you what, man, it's been such a pleasure being able to work with my friend, but also having a partner in it because I can't imagine how much work you have to do because, man, we're splitting duties because we both have our strengths and it is a ton of work.
Yeah, it can be a lot of work, So that's why I have a desk behind me, right? That's Sarah. I saw her earlier. She was over there hiding now. She's like, oh, you're doing a podcast. And then my wife just jumped in.
Yeah,
so
Sarah's a
that's
rock star.
Yeah. So you start getting team members. I'm actually ready for a personal assistant, like a true personal assistant
Right.
that's just like in control of me. So then my other business, because like it does get nuts, right? But here I am. I'm still running multi-million dollars of assets, right? Almost, gosh, $50 million, $60 million in assets right now, right? That we run from this little house, my office.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't have to be a huge team.
Nope.
You just need a little bit more, right? And 1 + 1. I saw your guys' episode. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the right people, it definitely equals 3 or more.
Yeah, totally, without a doubt. And so that's really the biggest change. And so like now let's talk. So into the future, what do you envision your future?
I have a goal to retire when I'm 42, and I'm almost 41, so I got to get on it. But no, really, we're continuing. So we have a goal for 100 units this year. Closing the 37 would put us right at 92. If we could close that Arkansas deal, that'll put us over the number. So more of the same, but yeah, we want to do bigger deals. So once we have 100 units, then we want to do 100 unit and really go from there. Also looking into other options like assisted living facilities, those types of different situations, because again, I don't think the fix and flip business is going to be good for the next year.
Did you go to Gene Garino's event?
Yep. I haven't been to his event, but I'm Facebook friends with him.
Okay, Gene's a great guy. I know him personally, so he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I gotta actually have him on the podcast too, because he talks about cash flow a lot, right?
Yeah. It's just different way. It's going to where everybody else isn't.
But I will tell you right now, because I'm watching everybody come into multifamily right now that are properly not trained. That was what I'm going to say. That's not the right way to say it, but they're not trained properly. Right. Trust me. And they are going to make mistakes. And a slowdown is coming, and interest rate hikes are coming, right? Yeah. And so what a wonderful time to be in real estate, knowing that change is on the verge, right?
For sure.
And so, and it's not even being talked about yet. So people on the inside are talking about it, but it's not on, everybody else thinks the market's crazy, right? Yeah.
From what I hear, the apartments are nuts too. People are just paying just insane prices. You know, we're hitting our sub markets, we're hitting our distressed properties, off market properties. So we're definitely getting the cap rates that we're looking for.
I'm going to sell a property next this spring, right? I'm just getting ready for it to sell. I got to finish all my CapEx projects on it. I bought it for 3.6. I think I can sell it for, I'm going to try to sell it for $8 million.
Oh yeah.
And
I like the sound of that.
And it's been like 3 years.
That's beautiful, man.
Right?
I love it. And then you'll move up to a bigger one, I imagine.
Well, of course, I'm just going to hold it. And I'm actually going to, I'm going to take one property offline and not reinvest. I have enough depreciation that I'm just going to put like $1.5 million in my bank account.
Nice.
Just to be liquid at all times. And then I'm going to go build my McMansion.
Now, where's that going to be? Out where you're at now?
Yeah, somewhere out where I'm at. Yeah, still here in the middle of nowhere. Shelly gave me a thumbs up for the McMansion.
Yeah, I'm sure she's ready for it. She put in her time.
She needs the Force compound, right? She wants to host mini Jedi.
I want you to have your own space.
I gotta have a place for all my toys, dude.
It's coming. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
But you know what? Think about it. What a great place to put your family. You know, you got over $1 million in the bank. You know, you could, God forbid it happen, but you could get sick. Something happen. You get hit by a bus, right?
Yeah.
And your family's taken care of. That's got to be a huge weight off your shoulders.
Oh yeah. Well, not only that, just to have liquid money, just like at that point, I feel like there's nobody that could ever. So, my buddy, hold on, I got to think of, he's from Texas. Gosh dang it. Shelly, My Life in 100, Mitch Stevens, right? My Life in 1,000 Houses. He had a book called My Life in 100,000 or 1,000 Houses. Anyways, he talks about, one of the things he said, I thought it was a great story. He's like, Corey, he goes, you gotta build up your moat. And I was like, what? Now listen to this. This is great. He goes, listen. He goes, you want to be king of your castle, right? Yeah, he goes, now, but what protects the castle? The moat, right? Yeah. And so it protects from invasion. There's a reason for it, right? Just keep things. So whatever's inside your castle, or basically inside the moat, like that's got to be protected and it's got to be safe. So he goes, I keep, and so every time I want to, like say I want to expand my castle, right? I want to add on to my castle, right? Corey, before you do that, you got to expand your moat.
Yeah.
Right? You got to put things in your castle that are paid for, right? So it could be cash, it could be paid off assets, right? But everything inside your moat, right, your castle, you need to be working on having very little debt, right? That's like your personal life, right? Now your business, that's your army outside your castle, right? It goes out and hunts and destroys, right? And plunders and makes money and brings back goods and services, right? At least that's the way he told it. And I was like, this is amazing. I go, I love this. I love this analogy.
Yeah.
He goes, but you got to protect your moat. And really the biggest thing was before you build and add on your castle, all your thingamajiggies, right? Just expand your moat. And so in my mind, that's what that $1.5 million of liquid money is expanding my moat. So I'll never have to worry about so then I can have the platform to build my castle and I don't have to worry about anything. Right?
Makes sense to me. Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of my sound advice there is and I love debt for business. I've been really trying to stay completely out of debt in my personal life, right? And I still have, I'm not perfect. I still have cars but I'll buy a car. Like I just bought a truck. You saw my truck.
Oh yeah.
It's stupid. But I usually tend to keep them until they're paid off, and then I keep them for a long time after that. So I don't know. That's my story. So listen, dude. Amazing. We just had a great podcast, dude.
Yes, that was awesome.
We just killed it. So tips. Last thing. Tips. What would you tell anybody into the audience that's new or starting out in this world of real estate? What's your best tip?
For 2019, it's be careful. I know that real estate is sexy again. The fix and flip shows look like a lot of fun, but it's a real business, and you really want to know what you're doing. So find a pro, find someone who's doing what you want to do, and then mimic them. Take them to coffee, pick their brain, and maybe even partner up with them. That's a good way to go as well.
Dude, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Partnerships are real, right? Especially if you can learn from someone that's way better or at a different level than you. That's one of the best partners you'll ever bring on.
Yeah. I love you. On our podcast, you said that you always have a hand up, reaching up, trying to learn more from people who know more, but you also have a hand down, helping people out who need help. So that's what we want to follow. We are always striving to meet bigger, better people, smarter people than us, but we're also giving back with our show. And we always want to offer value to people.
Yeah, I love it. So listen, if people are out there wanting to learn how to get a hold of you, where do they go? How do they find you?
Find me on Facebook. It's real simple. My name's Cashflow Kris, Kris with a K. And then you can always find me at the AZ for Arizona Flip Guys. We do a live show every Friday, or most Fridays. Check out episode 40 and episode 70, and big kahunas on both of those. But yeah, I'm easy to find.
Yeah, rock and roll, dude. Listen, thanks again for spending the time. I know you're a busy guy, so I really want to thank you for spending your quality time with me and my audience, and learning your story of how like you just said, it's Cashflow Kris. I've been focused on cash flow for a long time, right?
Yes.
And now you're really starting to get it, dude, like getting that nasty stuff.
Yeah, man. So awesome. And thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show. But more importantly, thanks for being our mentor. You really shortened the learning curve on a lot of what we've had to go through. So it's much appreciated.
Oh, great, man. Listen, I believe, anytime I do these podcasts, listen, 90% of winning comes through your mind, right? Your mind is the most powerful thing you'll ever use, engage, you have. And most people are simply they don't take advantage of it. They want to they're like a bunch of, what am I thinking? Not peacocks. Who puts their heads in the ground?
Ostriches. Yeah.
Bunch of dumb ostriches. They just put their damn heads in the ground and they want to stay buried, dude. And listen, get your head out of the sand and look around, because there's opportunities everywhere, especially in the game of real estate. Because I believe that once you believe it, you can achieve it, and your paradise is possible.